What is up, guys? This is Fortitude Investing. Thank you again for stopping by today and giving me some of your time to listen and to learn to focus and to become stoic, right? Today on the news, Coinbase is now partnering with JP Morgan. The biggest crypto exchange in the world is now partnering with JP Morgan. Guys, I'm telling you, this stuff is full circle. It is full circle. First, they ignored it. Now they were denying and denying. And now with this new president, with the economy, right, where it's at, now they're accepting it. They're finding ways to implement it into their businesses, right? JP Morgan, like this is a huge banking company, right? Jamie Dimon is not stupid. He is in the position that he is in today for a reason. This kind of just comes back to the video I posted yesterday, guys. Like, it's right in front of our faces. It's right here. Everything that is going on through all of the chaos, right? The smart money moves very quietly, right? This stuff is not on your nightly news. You know, you're not having your boss or your buddies or the coworkers at work saying, "Oh, did you see this? Did you see that?" No, no, because well, honestly, it doesn't get shown. And for two, a lot of people, usually the response you get is, "I really don't care. It's just kind of boring, right?" What I'm saying is, we are seeing a full, complete 360 turnaround of all of these institutions and banks and companies, right? Banks want Bitcoin. Banks want ISO 222 coins, right? HBAR, XLM, XRP, right? Like these are the coins that are going to be the future. And this is our chance to actually get to invest into the rails of the future. This isn't some little hoopty, bank out in the middle of the Midwest, right? Like, no. This is one of the biggest banks in the world, right? $4 trillion managed in assets. Like, this bank doesn't mess around. Jamie Dimon doesn't mess around. 2 years ago, he said crypto is used for criminals to launder money, right? And then boom, the flip of the switch. Donald Trump becomes president. What does he say? He doesn't say, oh, let's delegate 5, 10% into risk management. No, he says, I'm all in. I'm all in. Larry Fink, Jamie Dimon, Donald Trump, right? Michael Saylor, I'm all in. And now I don't know about you, but I think that these people are quite a bit more successful than us working class people, right? So maybe instead of listening to your coworker or listening to what the nightly news says, right? Or what your drunk uncle at at Thanksgiving says, it's crypto is stupid, crypto is fake, it's going to zero, right? Maybe we don't listen to those people because they're not where we want to be, right? We wouldn't be investing into this stuff if we didn't have conviction, right? We wouldn't be investing in it if we didn't want to become rich, right? Like, come on. Seriously, I mean, let's get down to it. How badly do you want this? How badly do you want to become wealthy, right? To be the leader of your household, right? The man, being the man of our household or the woman, right? How are we going to be able to provide for our families? How are we going to be able to create financial freedom, right? I'm going to follow exactly what all of these rich billionaires are doing because, I mean, they had to get there somewhere, right? They had to have done something right. So if they're all in on this, why aren't we? Right? Bitcoin wasn't created for the president of the United States. It wasn't created for the big banks, right? It was created for people like me and you. It was created for us, not only to hedge against inflation, but to have privacy, right? To be able to do what you want with your money, to be able to not have somebody breathing down your shoulder. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's the big deal? What do you got to hide? It's like, no, it's not that. What do I have to hide? It's none of your business. It's none of your business. My life, what I do with my finances is my own money, right? That's what Bitcoin is for, right? So we don't have centralized power. It's decentralized. Bitcoin is decentralized. Power to the people, us, the working class people, to be able to own and control our own lives, our financials, and what we get to do in our own personal life, right? Here's a good way of explaining it. What centralized finance does is the same way as if, you had the US government walk up to your front door, knock on your door and say, "Hey, I want you to write down on a list, how many guns do you have? How much ammo do you have? Where is it at? How many times do you shoot it? Do you hunt?" All these different things. It's like, this is none of your business. This is none of your business. You don't get to know these things, right? That is the purpose of Bitcoin, is privacy, ownership of what you have worked for, to be able to live and create and to prosper, right? So that, in Bitcoin, it says, you will not censor, you will not control. I get to determine my own fate. You get to determine how you live your life, right? Let's be stoic. Let's focus on the goal, right? Of becoming financially free and independent. Let's rely upon and bet on ourselves, right? We don't have to have some college degree and have a high IQ score to be making a lot of money. No, absolutely not. We don't need to go to college to learn about something that I can learn on my own. That's what I'm saying here. When we get to control our lives, that is when we succeed. It doesn't have anything to do with X amount of dollars, X amount of Bitcoin. If we get to choose how we live our lives, we get to choose what we do with our time, who we spend our time with, how we can help other people, right? That's the whole point of this, right? I'm at a place where I want to be able to help other people, right? I want to take my knowledge and my understanding and help other people, right? That's the whole point of this. But if I'm always stuck in a continuous cycle and loop of never being able to get out of this cycle, then I can't help other people, and I get to watch myself, my family, my ecosystem, my people around me also not being able to prosper. It's a very, very, very sad thing to watch other people who you love and you care about not be able to prosper, right? Conviction, right? We're seeing the proof right in front of our faces, the proof that Bitcoin, XRP, these are the things that are going to run the financial system for the next 100+ years. I believe we have less than 5 years to accumulate before the flip of the switch, right? We've got 5 years not to mess this up. Let's be stoic. Let's focus in on the goal of accumulating as much as we can, right? Going to the most extreme way possible of living so under our means so that in 5-6 years we can prosper, right? It's not going to be easy, but I'm doing it here with you guys. I'm right there with you. I'm working towards this goal, right? I'm not going out and I'm not buying a house. I'm not going and buying a nice car. I drive a little hoopty, right? A $3,000 car, right? Renting an apartment, right? I'm not living outside of my means. I'm living way under my means so that I can continuously buy and accumulate so that in the future, I believe in 5 years, that we can prosper. Okay? Let's focus in. Let's hold tight. Push off what we want, or what we think that we might want, and focus in on the goal of accumulating more Bitcoin, more XRP, right? And whatever other coin you think, I think that there's going to be multiple coins that are going to do really well, but I look at Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum as the three big ones, right? That's just my conviction. That's where I'm at. I'm invested into, XRP and Bitcoin. Those are my two biggest holdings, right? Those are what I have conviction and belief in. I'm not saying that that's what anybody else needs to, but these are the things that are going to have the most impact on the next 100 years. Don't go out looking for, what's the next Bitcoin? What's the next XRP? What's the next Ethereum, right? We're so early. We're so early. We're so early in this. Like, there's going to be astronomical amounts of money being made in crypto. Stay stoic. Trust the process. Live under our means so that we can 5 years. That's all I'm asking. 5 years. Focus in. Right now until 2030. Focus and put all of the money that you possibly can into this stuff. Right? I have conviction and belief. I'm not holding back. I'm not your financial advisor. You do what you want with your money, but I'm telling you, this is the future. This is the future. You do not want to be on the wrong side of this. You do not want to continue to live this loop, especially when, and I believe in 5 years, when these things do really take off. You don't want to look back at today and be like, man, I could have bought Bitcoin at 100,000. I could have bought XRP at less than $2, right? Focus. Put all of your attention on this. Put it on this one thing. Do whatever you can. Find ways. Sit down with your spouse. Sit down with your family and say, the buck stops here. We're no longer going to go and blow money and do stupid things, right? We're going to find ways, no matter how small it is, to continue to keep buying the new rails of the financial system. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you.